Hello again, YouTube, and welcome back to another review for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Episode 3, this time Smooth Criminal. So, as always, you can see my full unedited reaction on Patreon right now for €5 a month. But, I fumbled a bit on that reaction because at one point I decided that I wanted to maybe try the sub version, but there was an issue because the website that I'm using basically their sub version is not converted correctly and has a really ugly green filter over everything that changes the color scheme of everything in the show. So it would have felt weird to have these colors. So I stayed with dub, but the dub for that episode had some weird things happening with the voices, cutting up some words and stuff like that. But just the voices, like not the background sound and not the video. It was just the voices. That was weird. Anyway, so this episode, so I'm glad it ended up well after the end of episode 2, because I wasn't sure exactly what to think. My brain was not thinking correctly. I mistook Main for the guy who for the Saber Psycho at the beginning of the show, which is why I wasn't sure if it was something that was happening for real or like if it was just David losing his mind. But yeah, no, I'm glad it turned out well. So basically, Maine was supposed to buy this understand off of David's mom, and he actually seems like a nice guy. Like I mean, he's got his head into like doing gigs and stuff. But as long as you're part of his crew and he knows he can trust you, he seems like a really nice guy. So I'm glad for David, of course. We finally met Rebecca, which her English voice is weird. Like it feels like it doesn't go with her design, I guess. She also seems a lot more augmented than anyone else so far in the show. Like she seems like she has many more implants than him, including her eyes. So I wonder if there's a story behind that will be told to us, or if it's just going to be um, kept like as a kind of secret, I guess. There's also can't remember his name, but the guy from the gang, the dude with the long arms, like this one's freaking me out a little. I don't know, especially like the animations they do with him are really strange. He's weirdly flexible. But yeah, like I'm glad David found some people who are trying to help him in a way because they know how hard it can be to start off doing using military implants, and they all seem to have some form of military implants. There's still the question of the client, of course. They kind of like botch the job by nabbing the car instead of just the data. But I mean, it wasn't really their fault, so you know. But yeah, like um, I was saying it during my reaction to the show and kind of like at the end as well. I feel like I would not have like the show if I had not played the game before. Because playing the game has given me some knowledge about the world itself and like a lot of things regarding the way things work in Night City, and I feel like I would not have gotten that if I had just started with a show. So I'm really glad. I'm really glad I was told to play the game before watching the show, because yeah, like I would have been completely lost. Even though there's no, for now, for now, there doesn't seem to be like any crossing between the game and the show, aside from the fact that they both take place in Night City and follow Edgerunners. But aside from that, like it's its own contained story that still brings the same feels about the way things work in Night City. So I'm kind of glad on that. Like that it doesn't rely necessarily on the game. I mean, I guess they were like it was produced shortly before, no, or after, either during or after, like the release of the game. So it was really close to it. So maybe they didn't like have time to get to have any information about what would be in the game. I don't know exactly. I don't know the extent of how much like Trigger work with CD Projekt Red regarding this. But yeah, it's its own self-contained story within Night City, which seems to be a city that like you could write so many stories about the people of Night City and never see the end of it, because everyone has to struggle in their own way and face their own hardships and stuff like that. So yeah, like I mean yeah, it definitely keeps a feel. But yeah, again, I would not have liked the show or wanted to continue watching the show if I had not played the game before. It to me it feels necessary to enjoy it, especially because I keep throwing around lingo from the game itself, and in a span of 10 episodes, it's not enough to learn that lingo. Like it's probably not enough for me to learn some of the names of the characters. So yeah, like um, okay, hang on. I don't know which one is Dorio and which one is Pillar, because I was like watching through the episode again, but I have the, I mean, it auto starts on the sub version, and so I got the names. So Kiwi, I did remember the name because it's so specific. Dorio and Pillar, I might have a lot more difficulties remembering them, especially especially since it doesn't show me exactly which one is which. It's just me introducing them by saying their name, but not necessarily pointing out to each one. So I guess we'll see. So yeah, there's still like there's that. There's still the question of Arasaka wanting Lysander Visten and wanting control over David. So that's gonna be a problem, like a long-term problem. And of course, there's the risk with Lysander Visten, uh, the risks brought by it regarding losing losing his mind or any kind of health problem because he's not used to having implants on him, and he's sort of straight up with a military implant. So yeah, we actually, like, you know what? I just realized I don't know the answer to that. At what age do people start getting implants? Because we've seen that basically everyone has slots for shards, for like, yeah, data shards straight into their neck. Each person has that. Like literally everyone we've seen so far. But at what age does it become a thing? Like, at what age are you required to have these slots? Because it feels like implants should be something done uh, in priority when someone has stopped growing, so that it doesn't become an issue later on. So I do wonder about that. And I was talking during the reaction that if I was in such a situation, if I was living in a world like this, I would not want to augment myself any more than necessary. That is to say, I would only have cybernetical implants if I had like an accident that made me lose something, some part of myself. I would replace that part, sure. But to deliberately butcher myself to change my body, no. Like, I definitely would not want to do that. Like the example I gave is, I would love to, like, if I would love if it was possible for me to um, upgrade, I guess, my arms, because I've had some shoulder issues for years now that prevent me from lifting my arms too high. Um, and so, like, if I could find a way to augment this and have more strength, just to like do simple stuff like carrying grocery bags and stuff like that, that would help a lot. But other than that, I wouldn't like change anything that doesn't need to be changed. Change. Like, not even cool stuff like something about the eyes, to have like, I don't know, some AR stuff. Like, not even that. Especially because I've already been had a surgery once, and I don't want to go through that again, because it was terrifying. Like, one of the most terrifying moments of my life, because I was really afraid that something could go wrong and make me permanently blind. So yeah. Anyway, um, anyway, I still want to see more of the show, of course. Like, I will go through with it, at least for now. Like, unless something that really makes me go happens. Otherwise, I still want to go through with it. But yes, I guess that's it. That's it for these videos. Once again, you can see the full reaction on Patreon for €5 a month. And I'll see you in the next episode review. See you.